What are we live on? Okay.
Picture up. That was what I was mainly wanting to figure out.
I'm trying to check it out. No, I can't do anything.
You just hit the camera button. That's all I gotta hit.
I don't have I have a reverse for the camera. I have a mic and a touch up.
Oh, I have a camera right below my mic.
Yeah, I have a touch up there. Like put the touch up on so I don't look so bad when I am on camera.
Yeah, I didn't. So when I send an invite, it don't let you go live until they show up,
Oh, that's weird.
unless there's another way to do it.
I don't Probably not. I'm trying to find other ways to see if it can do anything. Yeah, no, I don't have no other camera options. I have nothing. Why is there no chat?
Nobody's here yet.
Okay.
That's what I was telling you about YouTube. It drives me. It takes people. It takes a while for people to show up. It's not like TikTok where you just get flooded with people.
Right. Huh. TikTok's different than YouTube. So, ah, yeah, you have to have a really strong connection for YouTube. So my son bought me an extender for Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool," because he knows I'm into all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, "What am I gonna use it for?" And then my husband was like, "When I go out in the garage, I'll have internet." Well, we have internet out there. It's just kind of weak, right? But yeah, so it works for the garage very well. So they do work.
Oh, I got a green screen.
Yeah, you could do other things. I think that's the host only, maybe.
Hello, Stephen. Oh, I'm gonna need glasses for this.
I got my glasses.
Hello, Cashy App. I don't know if I like this background.
Try a different one.
Oh man, I have so many.
No, not Bob.
I hope Bob shows up. That would be awesome. Where am I from? I'm from the internet.
The internet. Aren't we all from the internet right now? Let's see if I can.
Your hits.
Oh,
You can find
shit.
personalized weight.
I went on the. See, that's the ads you get before you start your videos. Okay, I see from the computer now. I can mod through that part.
Hey, Smarty Pants. Y'all remember Bob?
Everyone remembers Bob. I got a text. Am I going to be able to read it? Can I count? Can I go out?
I don't know. Go look.
Okay, I'm going to go check.
Yep, there's old Bob.
All right, it worked.
Bob's like a little gift.
Just keep on giving.
Yeah, that's true. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can
Oh, okay.
everyone else hear us?
This was my big red cake.
Yes.
My big red flavored cake. And it's in my buggy at the grocery store. So that grid is the bottom of my buggy, and the blue and white checkers, that's the floor in the grocery store. I was so excited to find a cake that was flavored like Big Red Soda Pop that I had to take a picture of it and send it to this one.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
I was like, it's a big red cake. It's like the greatest thing ever.
And it was good too, wasn't it?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, big red floats are really good too. If you ever see a big red cake and you like big red, you're going to like the big red cake. I didn't realize that Big Red was considered to be a cream soda because it doesn't taste like cream soda.
It's considered a cream soda?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
There is a Dr. Pepper cake, Smarty Pants. There absolutely is. Um, yeah, that night we were talking about the big red cake in the live, and we were trying to describe the flavor of it, and nobody could accurately describe it. I was Googling, like, and they consider Big Red to be a type of cream soda.
Hmm.
Have you ever had Cheerwine? No, I haven't. Dude, this computer's just running like a champ. Like it's just
What did you
like I'm
do?
on my home screen where all the news stories just pop up, and it's just everything's running great. It just won't. Just needs too much bandwidth for YouTube, I guess.
Well,
I'm
yes,
gonna have to
that
set a
and
router in here.
yes, or, an extender like you said, but, what happens is if there's other people on before you get on, that's why you were able to do your other lives, okay? Nobody might have been on at the time you loaded it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I can't use an extender.
Why can't you use an extender? What's the issue?
The way my house is shaped and the size of my house, I've tried that.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to put a
okay.
router in here.
You're gonna have to put another, yeah, add another one in there.
Yeah, it's I'm probably I'm probably 150 feet from my router.
Yeah, and if you don't have 1,000 GBs or anything like that running, then you're not going to get good service in your room.
Yeah, and my house is shaped like it's kind of shaped like a stealth bomber. It's like it goes that way and then that way and then that way. There's no direct
Well,
line of sight from anywhere in my house. Like there's just walls and like,
right.
and between that and the distance, I
Yeah,
could
and
I could go with a few things, but I think for what I'm trying to do here and the bandwidth I need, I just need to stick a router right here in this room.
yeah,
That's what I'm gonna do. That way I don't have to worry about it. Because honestly, with the size of this house and the shape of it and the way things flow through it, I could try and fail at 5 different things, or I could just stick a router right here and be done with it. So that's what I'm gonna do.
that's probably your best choice then. Because there are things that will get in the way as well from the router to wherever you are. There are things that can get in the way. If your kitchen is there, your microwave and things like that will interfere with your connection.
So on that last live, I was basically running it off the 5G hotspot on my phone, and it still wasn't working very well.
No. Yes, I am the real Jill. Nadia. How do I do that? I gotta hold my nose, right?
Oh boy. Yeah, that's the real Jill. How do I turn off this background?
I don't know because like I said, I don't
Boom.
have none of that. There you go.
There we go. Hi, Nadia. So when I switched to my phone, it was real easy to invite someone. Like I saw how to do it immediately. It's not so clear on the computer.
Yeah. I don't like I cannot go live on my own. If I get if I reach the 50 and I can go on there and just, piss around and help you figure out things, then I can do that. But until then I can't. I have no idea. Because the other half is me.
The other half
And
is, yeah, here, but not on camera.
Yeah, because I am not sitting still, and I would be holding my phone to where you would see from my chin, right? So, yeah, that wouldn't be you wouldn't want that.
Mr. G, when your last live dropped, it took me to the Bulwark, and they mentioned that some experts say that oil and gas prices are expected to rise. They didn't share the source, heard anything. I did a video on that earlier today. Gas prices are going to rise. I don't think oil prices are going to rise. I think they're going to stay within a $5 to $7 range. But gas prices are going to rise. We just had another refinery close down in the United States. The Phillips 66 refinery in Los Angeles is going to be winding down in the coming months. So we're losing a bit of refining capacity. And also, it's fixing to be spring. I know it don't feel like it outside, but it's going to be spring soon. And that means higher gas prices. So, I mean, we could see gas prices fall by a few cents before they begin to rise, but they are going to begin to rise. 40 cents a gallon, about, yes. That's assuming nothing happens. That's assuming everything is normal. All bets are off if some shit happens. So, gas is like toilet paper. Gotta have it. Yeah, I guess so. Sometimes more than others.
I gotta have it in my home. It's like I do my toilet paper, because if I don't have no gas, I have no heat, no food to cook well, nothing to cook with anyway. So, yeah, kind of.
Oh man. I wonder what this button does.
What button? Don't push a button unless you know what it is.
You can use a leaf or a pine cone, or so I've heard. Yeah, I could use one of those elephant ear leaves. They're like that big. You've heard good things about bidets.
Absolutely. They're wonderful.
Hello, Shelley. Are you the person I think you are? I think you are.
What?
Shelly GP. Trifold elephant leaf. Wipe, fold, turn, wipe.
Yeah, Mary Brown, I absolutely love my gas stove. I would never go back to electric again.
So Cheryl, I don't quite understand exactly what you're asking me. How do we navigate these gas threats? Um, if you could be a little more specific, I'd be happy to answer. This is toilet paper talk on the Mr. Global Show.
I was gonna say, I think this is toilet paper talk. Yes. Or leaf talk instead of toilet paper. I'm not sure what's going on.
Hey, toilet paper is important too. If you don't think it is, just think back to COVID
True.
when I paid like $60 for 4 rolls from China, and I got them, and they were like this big. I guess because Chinese people have little tiny butts.
They use bidets. They use bidets. Listen, they do. And they only need it to dry with.
Water and egg yolk don't mix well. Okay.
Well, you gotta quit that. Oops, I only removed one.
Hello, Wonky. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, we were slap out of toilet paper. There was no toilet paper anywhere. Like none.
Well, heck yeah, if it's your husband's turn to cook for 35 years, he can use the electric stove.
I'm a little OCD with my drinks.
Also,
When I fill up my Yeti,
uh-huh.
I only fill it up to where the top of the ice is. I stop.
Yes, I do the same thing.
I know.
You know? Yes, I do. And when my husband fills my cup up and it's all the way full, I'm like, oh man, I gotta drink some of this down.
It's just not right. Okay, Gustav. Many refineries in the U.S. are designed to process crude oil that is I think you mean imported, not domestic, which comes from Shell. With all this talk of drill, baby, drill, and the lack of infrastructure means we have to build new refineries or modify existing ones. How much would that cost? We don't need to build any new refineries. All of our refineries that can refine heavy crude can also refine our crude oil. It's the other way around. So a refinery that is not set up um, to refine heavy can't refine heavy. If it's set up to refine light sweet crude, then it can't refine heavy. If it's set up to refine heavy, then it can refine both. And that's a big misperception in the industry is that we can't refine our own oil. We actually refine over 9 million barrels a day of our own oil. We refine the vast majority of the oil we produce. So there's a lot of misinformation about refining capacity, not only in the United States, but in Canada, because now people are saying Canada can't refine their oil. They can refine a ton of their oil. Yeah, it's a very common misconception that we can't. If I had to guess, I would say the vast majority of people believe we can't refine our oil, but we can. Our oil is the easiest in the world to refine. It takes the less amount of stuff to refine it. We can. The reason we refine so much imported oil is because it's cheap. It's cheaper to buy, and it drives down gas prices. There's just so much bad information out there that people absorb every day, not just about oil and gas, but about everything, right? So
This is the only one he's live on.
what about pipeline bottlenecks in the north, central, and eastern US? So pipeline bottlenecks are much more significant a problem than refining capacity. Because as demand has grown for Canadian oil, the pipeline infrastructure, which has grown a lot with it, but hasn't quite kept up with it, and especially on the East Coast. But yeah, that's a bigger issue than capacity in itself. Thank you, Zipping Lake. Thank you for dropping by. What did I just read? Oh, I got to
What did
read
you read?
this. This is probably some bullshit story. Josh Sweat, defensive end for the Eagles, thinks he should have got the Super Bowl MVP and not Jalen Hurts, but I cannot verify this story. It might be fake. Mary Brown, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Give you a little heart, give you a little like. You want to ask a question but are concerned about national security? I'm not. Ask it. I'm not responsible for national security. We have people for that. If you wanted to get fancy, you could turn your mobile phone into a Wi-Fi hotspot and connect your computer to that. That's exactly what I was doing. Yeah, I was on my mobile phone's hotspot, and yeah, I was on 5G, my mobile phone hotspot. And
It wasn't strong enough.
the one thing I didn't do was have it wired. Like I didn't use the hotspot and wire the hotspot into my USB, but I don't know that would have helped. Smarty Pants says, I'm a spy though. I noticed your post about the Canadian Mountain LNG plan, which will ultimately raise prices for consumers. That's true. And a lot of people think that, that's information, but it is true. It's totally true. Exporting LNG raises natural gas prices for customers in the country they live in, just like exporting gasoline raises gas prices in the United States, just like exporting LNG out of the United States is raising our gas prices. So that's 100% true. I would stick with this then. Yeah, I'm on my phone, which kind of limits, not the functionality, but it limits my options of everything I can do on a live when I'm on my phone. So I'm just going to get a setup where I can do it on my computer. Yeah, go ahead and make some popcorn. I'm waiting on this national security question.
I'm waiting too.
Thanks for coming in, Zipping. I appreciate it. And that is correct. Home consumers, they won't have the inventory that drives down prices. I know, I've never concentrated on my comment section so hard.
I have.
Dying Breed Garage. How are you? Welcome to the live.
Kersey, you didn't leave us hanging, did you?
So, Jill.
Yes.
What can you surmise about Dying Breed Garage based on his name?
That he is older.
Yeah, he's probably our age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. No, we do not see the question, Kersey, not at all. It, for some reason, let me see if I can fix this chat.
You think they filtered it? What did
I
he
bet
put in
you
the
they did.
question? Or she? I'm not sure.
Wow. I found it. So, you have to change the chat the way it looks. So, are you on your computer as well?
No,
Okay. So,
but I
I had
can
to
go to it
change
on
it
my
to
computer.
I had to change it to live chat so that it would show everything. Wow. It doesn't show it on here though. There has to be a way to change it on here too, because that's not right. Okay,
All right.
so here's what it says. Doesn't the fact that Houston has so many pipelines you could walk across them if dirt was removed, wouldn't the Houston ship channel be a prime target for attacks? But, terror attacks. I can't do it from here. I don't have the 3 dots while I'm in the live.
I'm doing it here. And the answer is absolutely. I went to pop out chat.
Right. I don't have that while in the live. Let's see if I can go to more here. Found it. In the bottom left when you're up in the box.
Anyway, wow. But no, but it's not even about all the pipelines, but every port, channel, everything that is a shipping lane is um, a target. 100%.
So this is why when yesterday I got on my phone to cook dinner while doing my modding that I wasn't able to see them all because I didn't change it on the phone.
Hmm. YouTube works fine on my computer when I'm watching myself do it on my phone.
Yes. Your best bet for YouTube Lives, if you get a router in there to hook it directly up to the computer, then you won't have to run off of Wi-Fi. So you know that when you get one in there to do that.
Okay. The dying breed represents the Cubans that left Cuba after Castro came to power. They came here for freedom and the chance at the American dream. My parents became U.S. citizens and gave me a great life. Wow. Well, we missed that one.
So now I know that I have to set it to all, um, even from the phone.
I
'Cause you
should just
said
get like
yesterday
200 feet of Ethernet cable and run it from my router through my attic into this room
you could do that. It would actually work. That would actually work.
and just plug it directly into my computer.
Mhm. You're gonna have to do that anyway because 'cause it'll get a better connection.
Yeah.
But the longer the Ethernet cord, the, um, worse it is. Like,
Yes.
so, because I use an Ethernet cord that goes directly to my Xbox because Xbox is like YouTube. It takes a lot of, power of the internet.
That'll be fun.
Yep, hardwired as much as you can.
I'll probably bring it into that closet right there. Just lay it on the floor all the way through the house.
Oh my god, no, don't do that. However you do it, if you do end up getting another one, then do hardwire that as well, just anyway.
You've talked before about doing interviews or collaborations with political YouTubers. Do you find that most of the requests are from YouTubers who lean right, left, or center based? Um, Everything I've done has been either center or left. I've never gotten a single request from any right leaning anything other than um, my partnership with the Dispatch, which is considered a center right publication. I think Hal Sparks would make a great guest. The name sounds familiar, but um, every time you go from full screen to chat, you got to reset all chat.
Yeah, thank you, Kersey. What she means is you gotta be able to turn on all chat so you can see all the comments every time. Change things around, whatever, you gotta go do that.
Do you think both parties are the same? No, I don't. No, I think they're as far apart as they've ever been. No, they're not the same. Um, but they are both extremely flawed in their own way, is the way I would
Exactly.
put it. Yeah. The biggest similarity I think the two parties have is they don't learn from their mistakes. The Democrats are still promoting the same things they were promoting before the election, which cost them everything. And it's like they didn't learn anything. And but no, I don't believe they're the same. I believe they're, like I said, they're farther apart than they've ever been. They're not the same, but um, I think, honestly, I think they both have serious problems, both of them, because they've both moved so far away from anything that just seems rational and logical and pragmatic to me. You know, it's like all that's out the window on both sides. So, um, but no,
I
they're not the same.
I agree with you, and they're not the same. I know people like Coda down there said left wing, right wing, same bird. Well, we're not a bird, we're people. And yeah. So no. This country makes up human beings, is made up of human beings, not we're not birds. So no, it's not the same. But that's just my opinion. Just my opinion.
The political pendulum is so far right that the center looks left to most. Yeah, I would agree with that. A lot of people think that like I'm a leftist, and I'm pretty far from a leftist. I'm nowhere close to being a leftist. But it's just because I don't agree with the right, so I must be a leftist. Like there's a lot of space between right and left where people exist.
I get
I,
called liberal all the time, and I'm not.
I'd love to see a collaboration live video with you and Mercado Media. He's an ex-Trumper veteran, goes to Ukraine and gives them trucks and equipment. He went and filmed empty Mexico borders during Biden. Yeah, I mean, I would go sit with about anybody. I wouldn't care if they were left or right or whatever. I don't care. I have no qualms about who I speak to. I do a couple of interviews a month on Civic Media, which is out of Wisconsin, and they're pretty. I wouldn't say they're far left, but they're definitely left to center. And whenever I go there, they always talk about how it's like they have to bring up the point that basically I'm not one of them. They always bring it up, but they love having me on. Like we have a good time, but they always point out that I'm not like them, which is fine. I think it's funny, but Andrew Mercado. I'm start taking notes. Who else? Anybody else you guys think I should go on YouTube with or any other platform? Let me know. I'll put it in my little tablet here. And thank you, Colleen. Your commentary is some of the most insightful and educational out there. Thank you very much, Don. Oh yeah, Hal Sparks. I'm gonna have to jump into the comment section of that live and start asking him when he's gonna have me up. It's gonna be like, who are you? You might know who I am. I have no idea. Thank you, Colleen. One thing that's difficult right now with landing these kind of interviews is that there's so much crazy shit going on that oil and gas just isn't the topic. You know what I mean? But I learned from your petroleum video. Thanks, Coda.
I'm gonna have to make a petroleum jelly video.
Bad faith.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, because since I have all that Vaseline. You know you wanna laugh at that.
Oh man. Andrea is the mod on the House Sparks Live. I've mentioned the show with her, so maybe she'll respond. Thank you so much, Andrea.
So, Mary Brown, it's a long story, but it's an inside joke of how I accidentally bought too much Vaseline one time after my husband's surgeries, and I didn't realize how much I ordered, and I was like, "Man, that was really expensive." And then when it came in, it was over 200 individual packages of it.
Hal talks a lot about oil and gas. Well, that's great. Then I'd probably love to be on that. Growing up, my parents talked a lot about politics. One thing they never talked about was gasoline. They would say that we would use it until we literally run out of it. Any truth in that? Um, I would hope we have something to replace it before we run out of it. But we're a long ways away from that. So
No, because he intentionally bought it. I accidentally bought it.
yeah, so it's my understanding you thought, man, that was expensive, and then you got it.
And I was like, "Oh, that explains why." Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you basically bought like a lifetime supply of it.
I did. I bought like a doctor's office would buy it. And I was like, "Oh, no." So, yeah, I still have a whole bunch of it. I mean, I used a lot because of his surgeries, but I didn't need that much. Yes, Coda, I am sticking to that story because it is the facts. There's another one down there that's a name.
David Pac-Man. I've watched him a little bit. I'm pretty familiar with him. One thing I don't do is just exclusively watch anybody. And what that means is when you watch a lot of people, you don't see a ton of each individual person's stuff. Um, but I try to stay away from, especially when it comes to news type people, I try to stay away from just getting stuck on any one person, you know. The time difference between my phone and my computer is pretty significant. It's about a 15-second delay.
It's a delay, yes.
It's 10. It's 10 seconds.
Did you just count it?
Yes. How else would I know?
Well, mine's like 6 seconds.
I don't even know what a Discord channel is. What is that? Is that another social media app or
I don't have Discord, so I don't really know, but what I
is
do
that an
know
app
about it,
or what?
yeah, it's where people go in and talk about things. Um, I think some people are public, some people are private. You have a channel.
If I get one, then I can say, hey, check out my Discord.
I don't have one, but
Like all
yeah,
those
Carl,
political streamers. You got to check out my Discord.
yes. And like Carl said, think of AOL chat, but much bigger.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was like Yahoo Chat, but sounds like it is. Discord can get chaotic quickly. I'll have to check out Discord. You'll impress your kids or grands. Yeah. No, you don't know my kids. They don't know what a Discord is either. WTI had a 2.88% softening today. Your thoughts? Likely due to the inflation data that came out this morning. And also, yesterday we had a much larger inventory build in crude oil supplies than.
This scheme that would help him get some kind of, I don't know, he come up with this, I don't know, Devon's call, whatever, but he money.
I am picking up another live or something. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't hear you because it was picking up something else. And I'm going to tell you, this person got in the car and they were talking, and I could hear them. I don't know what that was.
That wasn't here.
No, it wasn't. It didn't match. That was the weirdest thing.
What did inflation come in at? I believe it was 3%. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 3%. And someone said the price of eggs. And I was like, eggs are just eggs? Like, can eggs by themselves have that much impact on inflation?
Percy, are you saying you heard it too?
If the Democratic Party leaders came to you and asked you about changes that you would make to their messaging and policy towards energy nationally, what would you tell them to change or keep the same? The first thing I would tell them to change about their messaging is to tell the truth. That's the first thing I would tell them to change. Because Democrats haven't told the truth about energy. I don't remember the last time. So let's start with that, and then we can actually get into policy. Honestly, I think the policy is the easy part, and the telling the truth is the hard part. Okay, Dying Breed Garage, if you want to hear some maybe interesting to you trivia about Mr. Global, because you say the only Discord I was a part of was a drag racing group run by Big Chief of Street Outlaws for advice about engine building and racing. So here's the bit of trivia about Mr. Global. I went to high school with Sean Ellington, Murder Nova, and we were roommates in college. He was an All-American baseball player, and he dropped out of college in 1990. What year was that? 5, I think, to race. He dropped out of college to go street race. That's how long he's been doing it. We were really good friends and roommates. We both grew up in the same small town. And his dad was the local mechanic. We had one mechanic in town, in our small town, and that was his dad. And it was also a body shop. And he was street racing when he was like, he probably started when he was like 13 years old. So one day I'm walking through Walmart with my kid, who at the time was, I don't remember how old he was. And I saw Sean kind of scurrying through Walmart, and he was hiding. He was trying to get in and out of there without anyone seeing him. And I knew exactly what he was doing when I saw him, because Sean's a big guy. He's a big guy. He was walking really fast. I was like, Sean doesn't walk that fast. Like he doesn't want any attention. So anyway, I caught him. I didn't say anything to my kid. I didn't really think about it. I caught him at the checkout line, and I come up behind him. I'm like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And we gave each other a hug, and we started talking. And my kid is sitting there just completely starstruck. And I looked at my kid, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" And he's like, "You know this guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went to high school with him. We've been friends forever." And my kid was totally. You would have thought he just met Michael Jordan, but it wasn't Michael Jordan. It's just a guy from Street Outlaws. But it was funny. What did I go to college for? I started off as a computer science major, and then I thought, well, I want to be a teacher. And then I found out how much money teachers made, and I quit because I was working in the oil field, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. What's today's topic? Well, Amy, I don't know if you know me. I'm an oil and gas expert. I take a lot of oil and gas questions, but we talk about all kinds of stuff. Best way to make money is hustle.
Nadia, I didn't hear a thing about that. Nope, did not hear that.
That is correct, Nadia. That is 1,000% correct.
How did I get so many hugging friends? I don't understand.
What's my opinion on going green? I mean, I'm fine with people going green. Yeah, I just don't think it should be forced on anyone. Like, I don't think the government should force people, or to, like, I don't think we should be outlawing gas powered cars. Like, that's just, you know.
Your sarcastic sister? Absolutely not. I am not a hugger. No.
Is it true that each windmill gearbox holds about 85 gallons of oil? That's largely dependent on the size, but yeah, yeah. One gasoline that I'm not a fan of is E85. So I've heard that a lot. I'm not a mechanic, but I've heard that it's hard on gaskets and things like that. Um, it also reduces your fuel mileage, and I'm sure there's other things it does that you know a lot about that I don't. I'm curious if you're familiar with MBTEs, and which is another additive that you can be alternatively used to ethanol. If they have any impact on engine performance or just the life of an engine either, because I don't know that. From watching your videos, I gather you are an independent. What are your general thoughts on climate change, and what is an actual realistic transition to more renewables? My general thoughts on climate change is that I believe it's real and need to be addressed. Also, recognize that net zero to 2050 is a big lie. It just is. If you know anything about the global energy supply chain, um, the entire net zero to 2050 thing was an impossibility from the very beginning, and they knew it was an impossibility, a complete impossibility. And so I understand that it's a goal, but I like setting goals that are achievable and not goals that are so far out there that you just fail them miserably, and then everyone's like, what the hell, because if you can find online all of the things that need to be accomplished to achieve net zero by 2050, what you will find is we are years past due to achieve a lot of huge things that would take us many, many, many more years. So there's like steps, right? First, we got to do this, then we got to do this, then we got to do this. Um, and it's crazy. It's just a thing that can't happen, you know, unless we can come back from being 15, 20 years behind and catch up at the end. I don't see any possibility of it happening. So
Don't forget to like and share the live.
and also you have to recognize that technology is going to change rapidly in the coming years, and artificial intelligence, and the way we approach those things like net zero by 2050 could change drastically. Like when you come out and say in 30 years this is what we have to have in place, and you can't recognize that in 30 years that you're talking about things that exist today and likely may not exist in 30 years because something completely new or a vastly different alternative version of that thing. Like it's just very short-sighted. Dying Breed says, honestly, I do not. We're talking about ethanol versus MBTE. Living in New Jersey, I've never seen E85. We have E85 here. I do like higher octane fuel. So that's one thing that MBTEs do. So it's the base or kind of the core component of MBTE is methanol. And I don't remember it's methyl butyl. It's some sciencey name, but it's an additive. One thing it does is it raises octane as well. I'm not sure how much, but what do you think of biofuels used in some Navy ships? Cost versus diesel efficiency, environmental effects. So that's where I would say, what does the Navy think? Does it meet their needs? You know what I mean? That's where you rely on the people that are using that product to tell you, does this work? Does it not work? Does it suck? Is it good? You know, um, I can't. I've never been in the Navy, and I don't know anything, about their needs as far as fuels. So I would ask the Navy, and maybe they've put something out on it. I don't know. They typically won't do stuff like that. But does the high price of racing fuel really necessary? Well, that's a supply thing. Like it's a specialty item. So it's not that it costs so much to make. It's just that they're limited on how much they can make because of the demand for it. And plus they put the word racing in there, which is automatically going to add 40% to the cost. Just that word existing, that's a 40% markup. So yeah. I've read they're proposing to dismantle OSHA. Wow, I haven't heard that. And that is something that I would definitely be opposed to. Yeah, occupational safety and health is well, I guess you could ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? I don't know, some huge corporation putting dollars before the safety of their employees. That's what can happen, right? Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all be agreeable to dismantling OSHA. As much as I don't like OSHA, I understand the value that's delivered by them.
Is that you, Pete?
I hope it is. I went to hit that button and I thought, I wonder if that's Pete.
I know. I
And
did
then
the
I didn't
same
hit
thing.
it.
It's Pete.
Okay. Hey, Pete. Man, Pete, pushing the envelope, brother. If it had been midnight, there would have been no hope for your ass because I would have just bam. I get a little cranky at night. Last night I was blocking Jill's mutuals.
Yeah, I had to unblock them and re-add them.
I would love a teaching series on the whole process. Like this is what drilling entails and the next step, refining distribution. I've actually thought about putting together a series like that. And there's a kid that I know here in town that could create videos. That's like what he does. And because I don't have that talent. I can't create uh, like graphic videos that show how things work. I don't know what you call it. What do you call it? Animation, whatever. He can do all that kind of stuff. And I thought about getting with him and sitting down with him and going through that. Turn it into a children's book and have LeVar Burton read it on video. Well, I have to read it. I have to read it, yeah. John Lucas just followed me on Substack. I have a feeling it's not the same John Lucas, though. Here's the thing. I could write a children's book on oil and gas in probably an hour. I know because I've written a children's book before. Um, but here's what happens. Then they think you're promoting oil and gas to children to prop up big oil. That's what they'll say if I do that. Yeah, they'll totally. Which I've never cared what people say about me, but that will be the response to that is that I'm brainwashing children into destroying the climate. That's what they'll say.
They
I've been doing
definitely
this for a
will.
minute.
They will. That's exactly what they'll do.
Oh, I know they will. Because I remember what they said about my last children's book.
Yes. Just the name, they probably didn't even read it.
People that have a motive always think everyone has a motive.
I say that all the time.
Was my book published? I mean, I self-published it, but the children's book I wrote was something I did with my kid. Um, I thought it would be something we could do together, and but it was never like a really serious project or anything. It was, but I just self-published it. But yeah.
Yeah, his books are on Amazon.
If you left the oil and gas industry as a wealthy man, would you leave your current state? Probably not. We have a very big family, and they all live right here where we live. So we would probably leave a lot to travel, but I don't think we would move.
Sorry, Kersey, it's a Pittsburgh thing.
It was announced that Putin and Trump to meet soon in Saudi Arabia. Do you think OPEC will cave and produce more oil? I think he's going to try to enforce sanctions on Iran, and he needs OPEC to help him with that, to basically replace their production. The problem with that is the last time he tried to do that was in 2018. And once he got OPEC to increase production, and once they had achieved the production increases, he put waivers on those sanctions and he stopped them and crashed the global oil market. So I don't know that they will have any appetite for that. I don't know that they will trust him again, because that event cost Saudi Arabia somewhere between 50 and 60 billion dollars in revenues. And it's also the event that was sort of the catalyst for Saudi Arabia dumping 2 million barrels of oil a day on the market extra, completely unannounced when COVID started. So, when oil crashed to negative, below zero during COVID, that was the result of Saudi Arabia suddenly increasing oil production by 2 million barrels a day, completely unannounced. And they usually announce those things pretty far in advance. And they also usually do it very slowly. For instance, when they increased production to offset sanctions on Iran in 2018, they did it over a period of 6 months. So it was a slow production increase over a 6-month period. When COVID hit, they increased production by 2 million barrels a day in less than a week. And they did it unannounced. And that was what completely crashed the global oil markets during COVID. And they did that as a retaliatory measure against the United States and against Donald Trump. And they did that to get Donald Trump to the table and sucker him into the OPEC 2020 deal, which he fell for. So we'll see. Thank you, Scott. Hegseth said NATO and Crimea are not on the table of Friday's negotiation. Not his place, yes. I'm angry at Trump for limiting Ukraine's negotiating power. I don't believe Ukraine, or I should say, I don't believe Hegseth or Trump get to determine what Ukraine keeps or loses in this deal. That's up to Ukraine. Hegseth probably came out and said that, and Zelensky was probably over there thinking, "Who the fuck is this idiot? He doesn't get to determine what we do," you know. So but you know, if I'm Ukraine and I've been attacked and you know, hundreds of cities in my country have been leveled, I'm going to want everything back, not just what they started with. I'm going to want it all back. That should be the price they have to pay for attacking them in the first place. They have to lose something. If they don't lose nothing, then it ain't worth it. So
And Percy, I think that was my modding voice. Yes, his books are on Amazon as well.
who does the new admin have as their oil and gas experts? I don't think Donald Trump knows that much about oil, but relies on his consultants. Well, Chris Wright knows a lot, and he's the new energy secretary, and he's more than capable. The question is, will Donald Trump listen to him? So it's not so much about what the people around him know. It's about, do they have the personality types um, to get through to Trump, to where he actually listens to him. When it comes to energy and stuff, he has capable people around him, but are they capable in a way to get their message through to him where it makes, you know, that's the whole barrier right there. That's the whole issue. It's not what they know, it's what he'll listen to. Forget the talking, just draw him a picture. Well, I don't know how well he can draw.
That's why you have to draw the picture.
I have to draw the picture.
Hmm. With colorful crayons. Maybe colorful Sharpies.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
Oh, Kersey, I didn't want to interrupt him whenever he was talking, but whenever you said, could I be more excited? That is probably, I said it's a Pittsburgh thing, but you know what? I think it's my mod voice. It's just my mod voice. Like, yes, his books are on Amazon, the mod thing. Kind of like, don't forget to like and share the live. Thanks.
Always working. All right. Well, we're approaching 5 o'clock, so I think I'm going to shut her down. I got things to do. I appreciate everyone coming in, joining us today. Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome. No, I'm
Do
not behind. I just didn't want to interrupt him. Sorry.
you prefer to be in the box or in the chat? Or
Probably the chat. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I just mute when you're talking and don't want to interrupt. And I can't, when I'm on my phone, I can't write in the chat. I have to use the computer. So I didn't want to interrupt you, and that's why Kersey thinks I'm behind.
yeah, I have Hal Sparks right here in my list. Well, I did not forget. So thanks everybody for coming in. We got a jet. See you guys.
See ya.